Well, I don't know if I'm live or not. So I'm going to see if I can check on my iPad. I guess I can look from your comments to see. You keep trying here. Oh, there we go. All right. So hopefully I'm live. I was trying to pull it up on my iPad here. Welcome, everyone. For some reason, tonight's broadcast seemed to have a little glitch to it when I started, but I am so excited to have you all here tonight, and good evening, everyone. Welcome from all over the country and all over the world. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and welcome to Chat. Tonight, we're going to be playing with rainbows, and rainbows always make me happy, and I hope that they'll make you happy tonight too. Tonight's topic is about encouragement and inclusion. And you know, I just have to talk a little bit about this, okay? So I know a lot of you follow me on social media, and I know that you've seen that I've expressed my opinion on current events that are happening. I've had a lot of people slam me and tell me they'll never buy anything from me ever again because of my point of view. But you know what? To me, money will never be more important than people. Never. I believe in inclusion, and inclusion isn't about physical proximity. It's about intentionally planning for the success and equality of all. It's not about just letting people into your space. It's about creating a new space that's better for everyone. I also don't see everyone as the same. Some of us struggle a lot more to be included and to be heard. And some of us are afraid of people in circumstances that are comfortable and safe for other people. And that right there makes us different. Some of our differences should be celebrated. I don't want 48 ink pads all in gray. I don't. I want all the colors. More importantly, I need all the colors. They're each different and they're each beautiful. And I can't do half of the techniques that I can do without them. And card making, just like life, would be boring without them. And you know, I've never ever thought in my life that if yellow would just act a little more red, it would be a better color. Instead, I love yellow and all its yellowness, and I'm happy it's part of my palette. So tonight we're going to make rainbows and we're going to celebrate all the colors. So welcome to anybody who just joined me this evening. I'm excited for you to be here and I'm excited to get stamping. So I have the Wreath Builder on tap, and I'm going to bring an overhead camera in here because I want to show you how, for ink blending and also for creating rainbows, the best way that you can do that. And sometimes I think a visual is just better. So here are some ink cubes, and there's a whole rainbow collection here. And I like to put them in this order. So I have red, I have orange, I have yellow, I have green, I have a teal color. Let's see if I can get this a little bit straighter overhead. Yeah, and I'm sorry about that glitch in the beginning. I don't know what happened to that, but Tom and I are working on hardwiring things, which is going to make everything look a lot better. So I have turquoise and blue, and then purple, and then I have like a hot pink. So that is, when you visually see it, when you see it like this, it makes it easier when it comes to ink blending, right? Because you know that red is going to blend nicely into orange, and it's also going to blend nicely, orange is going to blend nicely into yellow, but red will also blend nicely into pink. And then that pink's going to blend nicely into a purple. So just kind of looking at this, when we're working on rainbows and we're doing blending, this is kind of a good rule of thumb. But I'm going to push this aside for a second because I want to show you another rainbow that I really like to work with. Of course, I just dropped half the ink cubes. So here I have Bubblegum Pink. And Bubblegum Pink looks really nice getting blended into Dusty Rose, because this is a pink, but it also has a little peachy tone into it. And that looks great blending into Peach Bellini. And that looks great going into Sweet Mango. Let me see something here. Thank you, Tom. I saw your text that I am live, and that's a good thing. And so that orange is going to go into Lemon Drop, and Lemon Drop into Apple Mint, and Apple Mint into Sea Glass, and then Sea Glass into Lovely Lavender, which will go nicely back into Bubblegum. So there's no really harsh, bright colors there, like the red and the, bright blue and the bright green. This is more of a pastel rainbow. And I think that is, that's a really nice way to do a backdrop behind other images, that you want the images to stand out a little bit more, and it's less about the rainbow and more about the images. So I think I'll do one of each tonight, and we'll see how they look. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in order here so I don't forget my order. I don't think I'll forget my order, but you never know. Okay, so I thought it would be fun to do a rainbow wreath. So I have my Misti here. And for those of you who have never used the Wreath Builder before, I have to set it up anyway, so I'll tell you what I'm doing as I go along. So in my Misti, I have the Misti Mousepad. And the Misti Mousepad it feels exactly like a regular mouse pad. It's kind of slick on the top. And if you stamp on it or you get ink on it, you can just wipe it right off with a little bit of soap and water, or even spray some stamp cleaner on it. Now on the other side of the mouse pad is the same kind of mat that comes with the Misti. So when I do wreath building, I flip it over to the black side. And the reason why I do that is because when you're using the Wreath Builder templates, it's a little bit harder to see the Wreath Builder template when it's on something that's a very similar color. So by putting it on that way, onto the black, it stands out a lot more. And then one thing that I really like to do when I'm using my Wreath Builder is I like to tape it down with some purple tape. I know that's not cut very pretty down there, but I don't think you'll mind, right? You won't mind if it's not cut pretty on the side. You just don't want to go over that star. So make sure take that off, and I'll make that a little bit smaller. And so you may have noticed that underneath I have purple tape, and I do that so my pad doesn't slip, because sometimes the pad slips. And even though everything is in the same exact spot, if the pad shifts, you're not going to be able to stamp a second time. And then I tape the Wreath Builder down so the Wreath Builder doesn't shift. And then I've got a pretty secure thing going on. Now, if anything's popping up, you can always put some purple tape underneath. And the way I do the purple tape underneath is I just take a piece of it and I roll it into like a little band like that. And then I put it somewhere underneath there, and that just holds everything down. So I'll put it there because I think I need it anyway. Okay. And I really appreciate, I know a lot of you have been following me on Facebook and social media, and I appreciate all the kind words that you guys have. Boy, kindness really does make the world go round, and you guys give me a lot of hope for humanity. You really do. Okay, so I have that set up now, and I'm going to take a piece of cut cardstock, and this is cut 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, which is the side of the template that I'm going to use. And then I want to show you, before I get started with this completely, I want to show you these. So I made these, and this is a free download for all of you. This is something that you can download and print on your printer at home, or if you don't have a printer at home, you can put it on a little flash drive and take it to your local Kinko's, or even the library sometimes has printers. And you could take a thin piece of cardstock with you and ask them to print you a sheet of these. So I created these for you to print. It's a free digital stamp set, and you print it, and then I cut these using my double stitch circles and double stitch squares. They fit really nicely with these designs, and I really like the circle ones for using with the Wreath Builder. So I thought that I would make some encouragement cards for some of my friends that I've seen out there on social media, and I would try, you know, maybe a couple cards with the squares and a couple with the circles. So we'll see what we get done tonight. But this is a free download for you. You can find it on our Facebook page. There's a link there to my Google Drive, and you have access to this file for free, and I'll leave it up there forever. Unless I get kicked off of Google for some reason, it should always be there. But one thing I wanted to show you about it is I used some of the images from the original Wreath Builder. That's not the original Wreath Builder. Where's the original Wreath Builder? Let me grab the original Wreath Builder. Don't go away. Okay, so here's the original Wreath Builder, and I used one of the heart images. I used this little image here, and I used this image. This way, if you wanted to do some wreath building, you just have to find a color that matches. This one definitely matches Blue Lagoon, maybe even Tranquil Teal. And this one looks pretty good with Jelly Bean Green. And of course, this one looks good with Red Velvet. But of course, your printer might be a little different. So print them out and then stamp some ink swatches and see what fits right. And these will coordinate nicely with your Wreath Builder. So let's see here. I am going to find a little bit of a bigger image for this. What should I use? Maybe I will use... You know what I think I'm going to use? I'm going to use the Sentimental Bouquet stamp set. And I'm going to use this big flower image. And I don't care if they overlap. I want to see how it looks if they overlap. So I'm going to put that right on the side there. And I'm going to hold it down with my bar magnet. And these are definitely going to overlap. Now, if I had, you know, if I really had some energy tonight, I would probably make a mask, and then I could mask them off so they look like they're behind each other. But I think with the rainbow effect, it's going to be nice that they overlap. So I'm going to start with Red Velvet, and I'm going to stamp this flower. There are smaller flowers in here that I probably could have used, but what's fun about this is you can just use the flower image for this. You don't really have to use a lot of other images, and I'm going to stamp that a second time, I think. I haven't used this set in a while. This is a great set. I love Sentimental Bouquet because it's a great starter set. If you're a newer stamper and you need some stamps in your collection, Sentimental Bouquet is just jam-packed with all of the greetings that you could possibly want to get started. Like if you're new and you don't have any greetings. It has get well and thinking of you, thank you, happy birthday, and with sympathy. And then it's got all kinds of images that work in the Wreath Builder or without. And it's got this blotch here. I love that because you can stamp that in really pale colors and then stamp the images on top. So this is a nice one. Plus it has a set of dies that you can get that coordinate. So you can cut out flowers and do flower bouquets and cascades. Okay, so now I'm turning this to the next position in the Wreath Builder, and I'm going to use my orange color, which in my case is Tangerine Twist. So let's stamp that. Sometimes you gotta get the stamps going if you haven't used them for a while. Well, that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay. So I think that's good. One stamping of that should do it. And then I'm going to turn it again. That's the first time since I've used this new software that I had a weird glitch at the beginning of the live. But could be a lot worse. I could still be here to figure out how to get on. So we can always be thankful for what didn't happen, right? Okay, so that's my Wild Dandelion. It's fun to see them overlap. Now, normally I wouldn't have to stamp that red a second time, but it was because I hadn't stamped these stamps in a while, and I think I had a little residue on there from not being very tidy the last time. So next I'm going to use Lucky Clover. Now, Lucky Clover would be a really good color, or even Jelly Bean Green, but Lucky Clover, I don't give it enough love. I'm kind of a jelly bean green freak, so I'm trying to expand my love for some of the colors that I don't seem to love enough. Even though I love the colors, I just, you know, you get in the habit of reaching for the same colors all the time. This is a great time to stretch out and try something different. Okay, so now I'm going to use Turquoise Sea. I kind of love how big and fat and chunky these are. All right. Yes. And then, oh, and you know what I found? I was showing everybody in our Facebook group. I went directly to the post office and I found these stamps. And these stamps, they're 70 cents a stamp. So I think it was $14 for the sheet. I ordered them on the post office website. And these stamps are good for square cards. So it gives you that little extra bit of postage in there so that you can send a square card. So I was excited about that. Okay, I'm going to go with Wild Lilac next. So let's stamp that. Now, here's the dilemma, because I'm down to one color because I didn't stamp that blue. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp Bubblegum Pink here. Yeah, I think I can do that. Or I could do Plum Punch. Let me do Plum Punch. This is another one of those colors that I love the color and I don't use it enough. So Plum Punch. When that dries, it does dry a little bit lighter than that, which you'll see as we finish up and things start to actually smooth out and take their natural color. And then I'll finish it off with Passionate Pink. Sorry, my Misti's crooked. Okay, now this is great if I can open it. Okay, you know why? Because I forgot to take my little protective dot off of that. It was sticking. And sometimes I just peel them and I don't really actually take them off, and then they keep re-sticking themselves. I don't know, guys. Okay, there we go. All right, so there is my rainbow. Isn't that fun? It's nice and lush. I feel like we could pop something like that on there and just have it sticking out a little bit. Or we can turn this into an A2 size card. That would look really good too. I love this one too. And you know, these greetings are great for a lot of things. I mean, some of you are making cards for Pride, and so making a rainbow card is going to be perfect for that. Especially greetings like "You Matter," or you are beautifully and wonderfully made. There are many reasons to use this digital stamp set, that's for sure. Even just cards of encouragement. So lots of good uses for it. Okay, I think should I cut it in half, the A2? Let's do that. I'm going to take a shot here. So I'm going to take my stamp off of the Misti. I feel like that will make the greeting stand out more, and you'll get to see more of the flowers if I do that. So I'm going to cut this in half. I know it's scary. I'm going to cut this in half. Maybe I shouldn't, because it's a rainbow. I don't think I'm going to. I'm changing my mind. But I am going to need a small piece of black cardstock to mount this on. So I'm going to mount this on. This is a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 panel. So I'm going to go with my paper cutter. Sorry about my handle. And go 3 3/4, and then I'm going to go up to 3 5/8. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it again at 3 5/8, but this was already cut at 3 5/8, so that should look good. Yeah, I like that. And now I'm going to need a card base for it. And I really don't want to pick any one of these colors and give them preference. You know, I want the whole rainbow to stand out. So I'm going to put it on a white card base. So let me trim this A2 size down to 4 1/4 square. So that's that right there. Oh, that's fun. That's just a fun way to make a rainbow. Oh, it's so good to, pardon me, see all of you guys. I know a lot of you have just joined, and welcome, welcome. We're making rainbows. Okay. And I'm going to mount that onto a black piece. And then this whole thing is going to go on my white card base. And don't you think that is the best combination to just not hinder any of that rainbow goodness? I do. I like that. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to use some foam squares. Are they still out from my last live, or do I have to dig for them? I think I have to dig for them. All right. I have a little strip of them here. So I'm going to choose one of these greetings. So what do you think? Do you like this one on there? Or should I go with this one? I think that red matches pretty well. And that is nice to have that. What do you guys think? Oh, wait, let's see what you think. I stand with you. Oh, thank you, Shauna. Shauna caught me. It is 3 7/8, not 3 5/8. You're right, Shauna. Thank you. I really appreciate you catching that. Now, where'd your comment go? Because I don't know how to get it off the screen. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Shauna. Yes, it is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 for the black layer. Whew, boy. See, I can't do this without you guys. You need to be here. Okay. Everybody likes I stand with you, or at least most of you do. So I'm going to use that. And I have some foam squares. I think I'll use 3 of them on the back of this. Make a little triangle. And I'm excited now that I have stamps that I can make a little square envelope to fit into this. And I think you guys have seen me do that before. Make a square envelope out of an A2 envelope. That's my favorite way to do it. And just cut it down and seal it up the sides. All right, so let me get overhead so this looks good. Oh yeah, just making sure all the little centers of the flowers look even. So you can see them all. Okay. So what do you think? That's kind of cute, huh? Okay. Yeah, and again, if you're just joining me, these are all little greetings that came from a digital stamp set that you can download. Just go to Gina K Designs Facebook page, like not our group, but our regular Facebook page, and it is on there. You can just scroll down a few posts and you'll see it with a link to my Google Drive. And when you click on the link, it'll take you right to the file, download it and save it. It's yours forever. You can share it with anybody that you want. You can share it 1,000,000 times. It's free. There's no catch. It's all for you. And this is so that we can be a light and we can make cards for people who need them. All right, so now my overhead went out for a second there. Oh no, that probably wasn't my overhead. That was probably something dumb that I did. So let me bring that back over. Okay, so there's my first card. Now let's try something different for the second card. Let's try a pastel rainbow. Okay. Should we do another wreath card? No, let's do tiny textures. I love tiny textures. You guys know this is one of my favorite images. It's kind of this, just like, it's almost like you took an ink cube and you went, whoosh, except that's really hard to do 5 times perfectly. And so this takes the stress away. I love it. And I can do this one just with an acrylic block. And I think we should go with the pastel version for this and see how it comes out. So for this, let's see, I've got a piece of cardstock that measures 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I think that'll be the right size. So we're going to start in the middle. Now you can use the brighter yellow if you want, if you feel like you need more yellow color. Another good color for this is sweet corn. It's much softer yellow. So maybe we should try that. And yes, those of you that are asking for those layering dies, oh my goodness. So that needs to be glued back together. If that ever happens to you, just take a little Connect glue and put it in there and put the pad back in there. This is one of the very first ink cubes that I still have most of my originals. And every once in a while, the glue will let go, but it's easy to glue them right back on there. But I'm not going to do that now. Instead, I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to go with Wild Dandelion for my yellow. I could use the ink pad too. In fact, I probably should use the ink pad. Let me do the sweet corn ink pad so you guys can see it. I'm sorry I'm so disorganized tonight, but actually I'm always disorganized. It's just sometimes I hide it better than others. But I don't know about you guys. I just kind of feel all disheveled this week. Okay, so I'm going to start right in the middle with sweet corn. And I always like to start in the middle. And the reason why I like to start in the middle is because I'm going to do 5. And if I started at the top, I could start too close to the top. By starting in the middle, I can evenly space going backwards and forwards. So that's why I start in the middle when I do this technique. Okay, so sweet corn, and then I'm going to go sweet mango on top of that. And that's just a softer orange than our tangerine. It really is a little bit more like mango or melon. Ooh, I got a little cruddy thing on there, and that would have ruined everything. Okay, try that again. Okay, yeah, it's easier to ink this up with the big ink pad. So I'm going to put that one here. Okay. And it's supposed to look sketchy, so don't, if you get it and it looks like there's parts missing, there are, and it's supposed to be that way. Then I'm going to go with Dusty Rose on the top. And Dusty Rose is kind of a little bit of a warmer pink. I use Dusty Rose a lot. It is one of my go-to pinks. I really love it. Oh yeah. Okay, so now we need a green, and I could use jelly bean, but I think I'm going with apple mint here. Apple mint seems to work better in a more pastel rainbow. And then I'm going to do sea glass last. Glad I have all these ink pads all over the place. Sometimes it pays to not clean up, and you don't have to reach around to the back. All right, sea glass would work also if you have ocean mist. That would work really well too. Let's see what this is going to look like. Boy, it doesn't even look like there's ink on there. I know it's a light color though. It always fools me, and I feel like I have to do this like 1,000 times, and I don't because it's on there. It is just a light pastel. There we go. Okay. So that's a pretty rainbow too, and very, very different than my first rainbow, which is much more vibrant, more primary and vibrant, and this is more pastel. And this is a good idea to see what some of our pastel colors look like if you've been wondering. All right, so now I have to pick one of these greetings that I want to use for this. Really kind of like that. I see you, I hear you, I mourn with you, I will fight for you. But I do like this one too. What do you guys think? Should we go with this one? I've got time to make another one. So let's go with this one. And even though that's a little darker, it still is a complementary color. So I think that worked out really well. And again, it's such a small image that if it's a little bit off in color, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. But I do feel like this needs another image on it. It's just not enough for me. So I could do a couple things. I could take the Wild Blossom stamp set, and I could do blossoms going down and put some flowers on there. That would be one thing I could do. Another thing I could do is use the Love and Kindness stamp set, and instead of all of this, I could just do this, and I could do a butterfly. I could even do a butterfly and have this kind of centered a little bit more like that. Oh boy, it is so hard to decide. However, okay, I see a lot of people saying, ooh, the butterfly, do the butterfly. And it's a nice big bold butterfly. I could also do the butterfly like coming in on the side like this, and then angle this one over here. So should I center it, or should I do it more like this? Give me some, I'll do one with the vines too. I'll do a different color combo with the vines. Yeah, the wildflowers are beautiful. Angled butterfly. Okay, angled butterfly, and then this on an angle. Okay, good, good. So I'm going to get my Misti out again. And now this time, I'm going to take the Wreath Builder template out and put it aside. And I'm going to flip this around. This way, when I go off the cardstock with this butterfly, which I will, maybe, let's see. But if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to worry. I could stamp right off the thing, and if it got on here, I could just wipe it away. Don't know if I'll do that, though. I might give you the full butterfly. Okay, here we go. So if I do the butterfly like this, it'll still go off the rainbow a little bit, which will be good. I just want to make sure I still have room for my greeting. I do. And even if it covers a little bit of the wing, I think that will be okay. All right. So let's do that. Angled butterfly. Angled butterfly. All right, so I'm going to stamp this with black ink. Definitely think it just needs to be like a big, bold image. Even though the rainbow all by itself is really very pretty. It's very lovely. And it could definitely just be by itself. But there's something about having that bright, vibrant black image over it. Let's stamp it a second time. No sleeve tonight. No paper towel tonight. Nothing. I'm working without a net here. Okay, there we go. All right. And then this will go right here. And I'll even pop it up. And that'll give it a little more dimension, and you'll kind of see that first. I could do a second butterfly, but I'm going to leave it just like this. Talking through all my cards 3 times a week with you guys. No plan at all. No plan of action. And you guys are right there helping me. I appreciate it. Okay, so this definitely needs to be mounted onto a piece of black cardstock. And again, I definitely think this needs, is this the small? Yeah, this is the smaller one. This is the 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So I'm going to put that onto a, where's Shauna? 3 5/8 of an inch by 4 7/8 of an inch. Shauna, don't leave. You have to be here every single time to do my math for me. Okay, so I'm going to tape this down. There's a lot of ink on this card. So we'll get that in place. I feel like I might need to just trim a little tiny bit off the bottom just because I like it to be really even all the way around, and I didn't really cut this one perfectly. So I'm just going to cut a hair off the bottom. I don't know if it makes you nervous when I do it, but it always makes me nervous, but I think that's better. And then we'll get a card base for it. Definitely the white card base again. Love that. Is there ever a time where rainbows aren't appropriate? I just think that they're hopeful. They are colorful. They're not too much. So if it's, you know, even a sympathy card, I think rainbows are just full of hope and light. But the thing that I like about the pastel rainbow is it's just softer. It's not quite as colorful, like, you know, a colorful rainbow that you might want to decorate a little girl's room. You might want to use the brighter colors, but the softer pastel rainbow is a little bit better for those times where you're encouraging somebody or you're cheering them on or they're struggling. It's hope, but it's a little bit softer. Okay, so we'll do this right here. Just want to make it even on both sides. Okay, there we go. And butterflies are just a symbol of hope anyway, because butterflies are just the ultimate, old things have to die so that new and better things can happen, the caterpillar and the butterfly. So there are two cards, two rainbow cards. Let's see, let's do one more. Should we do just an ink blended one? Should we do one with a stencil? Let's just do one with a stencil. Okay, and then I will use this greeting with the stenciled one. No, but I wanted to do this with the vines. So let's do that. We'll do another one like this with the vines, and we'll use some different colors. So here we used pink, orange, yellow, green, blue. Maybe we could use orange, yellow, green, blue, and then violet. So we're still going with the rainbow theme, but we're kind of spreading it out on a different part of the rainbow spectrum. And that's kind of fun too. All right, so let me find my big block and let me find that stamp set again. Oh my goodness. If you saw what was happening over here off to the side, I think you'd run. Okay. There we go. So if we're going to start with the orange, then that means we need the apple mint to be here in the middle. So let me find the apple mint. That's what's fun about rainbows. You can start in any order as long as, that's why I put them in a circle and I don't put them in a line, because you can start anywhere, and as long as you follow that circle around, it's always going to work. Okay. So we'll start with apple mint. Oh, we shouldn't have started with apple mint. We should have started with, yeah, we should have started with apple mint. Okay, so now I'm confusing myself. Now on top of apple mint, we're gonna put the sweet corn. And then mango goes on top of that. Okay, I'm up to speed. Honestly, guys, I need you more than you know. All right, so we'll do sweet corn. And then sweet mango on top of that. I do love sweet mango. That was our first orange in the Gina K Designs collection. And then tangerine came along later, way after our peach Bellini. So now after that, I'm going to do sea glass. Pray for the best here. And then lovely lavender. This is a really, really soft color. Sometimes I like to double stamp it, but since I'm using a block here, no, I'm not going to be able to do that twice. So I'm going to just hope for the best that I get good coverage. Oh, yes, nice. Okay, so we're going to go with that, and then I'm going to do the vines that you guys liked, and I'm going to do that with my Misti, because that's a big stamp. So the vine, I'm going to just move, I'm going to use one of the Misti corners for this, and I'm going to just move it down a little bit so the vine can go up over the top here, and it's not going to be off the Misti. And a lot of you got this stamp set the last 17 times I used it, because I use this one a lot. I know I do. I can't help it. I love it. And it's not new. It's been around the Gina K collection for a long time. Okay. So we'll get that back into position, and I'm going to ink this up with the black onyx again. And welcome to everybody who's just joining us. I see more people coming in, and I love having you here with me. We're making all kinds of rainbows tonight. Okay, there we go. All right, now let me get this off, and here's what I'm talking about. You can just wipe this off, and if it stains, don't worry. Just get a little bit of stamp cleaner on there. This is the Gina K stamp cleaner. And then you can use the tidy towel with that, but that'll take that right off. And then what I like to do sometimes after that is just use a little bit of Windex or something, because the stamp cleaners that really get your stamps clean, they do have a little bit of an oily substance to them. So you might want to clean that off with a little Windex. All right, so now I'm going to use a tiny block, and I'm going to use some of these little stamps that are with this set. And I'm going to stamp some of the flower heads, once again, in black onyx. I'm going to leave it right here on my Misti. Yes, I did put my hand in the black onyx. Okay. Put one here. And let's put one. Should we put one here? I feel like that needs a smaller one. So let me get a smaller flower. There's several different flower heads on here. This one almost has a little bit of a lotus look to it. It's not a lotus, but it can pass for one. So we'll put that in here because I feel like there's a little bit more room down here in the bottom for this. There we go. Okay. Let's see. It needs more. It's not done. So the thing that I like to fill in with this is I like to use this really tiny little image right here. It's just a little bud. And you can fill in and just make it feel more full, like there's more flowers going on in places that you feel like you might need them. Like maybe you'd want to put one off of here like that. And then maybe one in here, coming off of that. You can add them where there's like no place for a flower. Just boop, you know, just stick it in there wherever you want. And it always looks good. I say always, but I'm bound to screw it up. Once you say always, that means something bad's going to happen. All right, let's just put one right in here. I think that's good. I don't think it needs any more. We could put another one over here. Have a double head here. Okay. Yeah, I like it. All right. So now we're going to back that with some black cardstock. This also looks really pretty when you just do ink blending. So you can always just do a simple rainbow ink blended rainbow or even really light stenciling and use it that way. Okay, so we will put this onto this black piece of cardstock. It's fun too, just to play with different rainbow combinations and then see what you like and then make a lot of what you like. But never be afraid to try them, because the worst that can happen is you'll say, I don't like it, and it's just a piece of cardstock. Okay. And then this I will put onto a card base like that. Yeah. Okay. This one's still a little wet, so I'm being careful. I could touch it with a paper towel or my finger. Okay. That was that was the sound of touching it. All right, and then we'll put that on there. Nice big wide border on that card. And then we can go either round or square. So we could do this round one, which I really feel it, because I almost feel like this here is looking something round. It kind of wraps around. We could do the square one too. Both of them look really nice, but I think I'm going for the round one this time. All right, so I will put a couple foam squares on the back of this. I'll do my triangle again. Thank you guys. I know sometimes spammers come in, and I really appreciate y'all jumping in and reporting them and getting rid of them. I don't know what in the world spammers really need to try card making. They wouldn't have time then to spam. They really have time to use all the fun stamps and ink and everything. I don't know what I did here. I'm just going to struggle through this. There we go. There we go. You ever have those days where just everything that worked yesterday just doesn't want to cooperate today? That's my day. Okay. So, get in the center here so you guys can see. Move some of my stuff. And then this will go right here. I know the green's different, but I don't mind that. There we go. I like it. Yep, round. Round is definitely, it needed round. Definitely needed round. Okay, so let's bring them all in, see what we got so far. We've got this one. We've got this one. Still a rainbow, just a different order. And then we've got the round rainbow, which is very fun. All right, so we have, well, we only have a few minutes left. We don't really have enough to go through a whole card, so I'll probably call it 5 minutes early tonight, even though I hate to do that because I like to get every minute I can with you guys. But there are some, and people were asking me in our Facebook group for ideas for using these greetings, so I thought this would be a good way to showcase them. Super easy cards to make for sure. And of course you can do lots of other rainbow techniques from ink cube swiping to stenciling and just regular ink blending. I know a lot of you guys have distress inks too, so you could certainly use those or the oxides and do the water spritzing. Lots of different things you can do. And the rainbows are just very encouraging and very bright and very fun. So let me get my, sorry, bumped into the computer. Let me get my front shot back again. It has been a week. It really has. And it's only Tuesday, Wednesday. What day is it? It's only Wednesday. So I know a lot of you like to come in on Friday night and do the pajama party with me. This Friday, I will not be live. I think during the summer, I'm going to limit myself to Monday and Wednesday nights so that Tom and I can do a little bit of camping this summer. Camping is a great social distancing sport. Great vacation for social distancing. You just go somewhere else and be alone. So I think that's what we're going to do. Where did I get my turquoise mouse? I can't even remember. It was probably on Amazon. And it's a wireless mouse. So, but I think that's where I got it. I got it a long time ago. I think I got it there. So, all right. Well, I am going to leave you with a final thought, a little quote here. And then I'll be posting all of these pictures in our Facebook group and also on our Facebook page. Now, if you are new to Gina K Designs, we would love to have you as a member over on our Facebook group. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Stamp TV was my old website, and that's how my videos all started. I don't know, like 13 or 14, I don't know how many years ago. It was called Stamp TV, and my channel will still come up if you search Stamp TV on YouTube. Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and we would love to have you as one of our members. It's a really kind group of people, very supportive for new stampers or even seasoned stampers. Yes, I'm going to be doing a little bit of camping, so I'm not going to be on Friday night. I'm going to change the banner for the summer too, so it's not confusing. So I just saw a comment go by and somebody asked me when our brick and mortar store is going to open, and we actually don't have any plans to open it anytime soon, mostly because Wisconsin kind of opened by just throwing out our governor's mandate, and then it became kind of a free-for-all in Wisconsin. People are going everywhere. They're doing everything. They're not wearing masks, and nobody's really doing much social distancing. The restaurants, everything is open. And I'm a type 1 diabetic, and I have people that work with me, people that are on my staff that also have compromised immune systems. So we've decided to just stick to online right now until we see the effects of this fast opening. And we will open as soon as we feel that it's safe to do so. In the meantime, we're open 24/7 at ginakdesigns.com. So my final quote for tonight, speaking about my topic, which is encouragement. And we have a release coming up next week, June 10th. That's a Wednesday night. So our Wednesday Whimsy is going to be a brand new release. We have a new kit and new stamp sets and some new embellishments and dies, and I can't wait to show you all the fun stuff that's new. We're even going to have some of our illustrators drop in. So thank you guys so much. Love you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a safe and wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here